Okay, so what have you learned from what you've seen today?
I've learnt lots of new techniques and strategies that I could use with my children in phonics. I've learnt some good behaviour management strategies as well, getting the children sort of on task and making the lesson pacey and snappy. Also, some of the strategies they were using for teaching their phonics were quite good. So the bingo they did, focusing on the words they were learning in that particular lesson. It was also good to see the lessons, sort of the focus of the lesson, so introducing the sound they were learning, and then sort of how they developed that throughout the lesson, and then sort of revisited it back at the end. And then also addressing maybe sort of a different sound, the same sound but a different way of writing it, so that they could maybe address that in the following lesson. So it was good to see sort of the link between the different lessons. That's something I will definitely take forward in my teaching.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with many of the things that have just been said. Also, I found it quite useful to see at the beginning the warm-up activities, the crossover of the left and right parts of the brain with the different actions and the body movements as well, which is something that we try and encourage with the children in my school, but it's nice to see other ideas and different ways of doing it. And again, also behaviour management strategies, different ways of bringing the children back on task and back together, such as clapping hands, the blinking, looking at me, and those sorts of things.
And just tell me a bit more about how you're going to, any of these you're actually going to sort of do in your own practice, like tomorrow. Will there be something that you'll be trying out?
Yeah, I'll definitely try some of the behaviour strategies that she was using. It's just really good to see other teachers in practice, to see what they have in place. It's something that you can then try out and see if it works with the children that you teach, or that I teach. So yeah, I'll try some of those, and I'll also try some of the strategies that I've seen in the literacy lessons that we've observed, especially the phonics lessons. I'll try some of those in the lessons, the bingo, which the children quite obviously enjoyed. That would be something I'll try in my lessons, I think.
Definitely, yeah. I think anything kinesthetic for the children that I work with, special needs, is motivating for them, and it keeps them engaged, so I'll definitely be using some of those strategies in my teaching.
I've learnt from the early years phonics session that we observed that it's good to have stages to the lesson. So they started off with just one letter and they moved it onto a word, or two letters onto a word, and then onto a sentence, which is good to see the flow moving on stages of the lesson. That was really interesting.
I was going to agree with that, because I think it's the progression within the lesson that really stood out for me as well, and also having seen the early years followed by the year one, you could see clear progression between those two, but at the same time there were aspects that the teachers were using that were the same, so you could see how that would be really good for the children coming through, that there would be the same actions, the robot actions and things.
Yeah, definitely.
So what will you take into your classroom tomorrow?
I think for me, again, it was looking at how it was built up and the progression. I think also the energy, particularly in the two phonics lessons, and particularly the second one, it was so pacey, and there was such a big wide variety of activities, and I think that's something that's made me look differently. I work in Key Stage 2 predominantly, so it sort of made me think now about how I can use some of those strategies with older children, because I think it's something that you don't always see a lot of in schools in Key Stage 2, so I think that's been really valuable.
It was interesting in Key Stage, in the year one lesson, how they moved from the carpet to the table quite a lot, which was good because it kept them moving. They weren't just doing one thing over and over again, they weren't fidgeting, they moved quite often, so that was good to keep it active, to keep it moving, definitely. It's good.
So just last question, is this going to be a spark that going to make you do different?
Yeah, it's a whole new, phonics is a whole new thing for me. I haven't seen that much phonics happening. So yeah, lots of strategies for teaching it that I haven't seen before, which I'll definitely take forward, in my teaching.
And I think it's going to open up lots of discussion in school, because there's ideas that I can go back to at school now and talk about with our literacy coordinator and make comparisons. It's great to see other schools and how they work, so I should be able to do that.
Okay, so has this spark from today, will it push you to do different?
Yes, I think all the things I've seen today will really impact my teaching. I haven't seen that much phonics happening before in schools. I haven't been in that sort of area. I've been Key Stage 2. So there's lots of things I'll take forward for my future teaching, definitely. Yeah.
And I think for me as well, I think it's opened up lots of areas that I want to go back to my own school to discuss now with my literacy coordinator, the teachers that I work with, and yeah, there's lots of ideas we've seen in different schools. It's been great to get some ideas to take back with me.